Welcome into week 2 of the Rundown here on Big Rapids Daily News. Brandon Ward joined by my partner in crime back here on the camera this time. Jack Heckman, what's going on, Jack?
Nothing much. I mean, we're at Reed City. Could be a better place, but I'm just happy to be back on the show.
Stop it. You weren't paid to say that. Anyway, and we got a special guest here on the show, Reed City tailback Kason Coppick joining us. Kason, welcome to the Rundown, my man.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you indeed. We got to talk to this guy about what's upcoming here, but obviously we'll touch on the whole CSAA Week 1 recap. We'll chat with Kason as well as Week 2 preview at the end of the show, and special sneak peek. We might touch on some soccer before we go. Before we get into the good stuff, big thanks to our great sponsor, including Denny's Muffler and Brakes, downtown State Street. If you want oil changes, general auto repair, brakes, mufflers, so much more, you can get your car fixed and ready to go at Denny's Muffler and Brakes in downtown Big Rapids. And big thanks goes out to Eagle Village. You can get a job that impacts the lives of youth and really helps you harness the potential of your professional experience. You can find out more information at eaglevillage.org. Eagle Village, where potential soars. All right, let's get into it, guys. And Case, I know you're already thinking to this week, but we'll talk about last week here a little bit. Good football team in Kingsley. You guys wanted this team, right? Signing another 2-year. It's a really good football team. This year, they got the best of you 24-6. Just talk to us what you saw that we're able to make the Stags successful and what you guys want to improve on going into next week.
Yeah, the Stags are a great football team, like you said. They fired out low. They were crawling us all game. Smash mouth football on their side, just as ours, but they definitely wanted it more. And we want to improve on outworking the other team during practice. Obviously, we don't know what they're doing at practice, but we got to work hard at practice, making sure we outwork them. So.
For sure. Jack Deitch with the lone touchdown for the Coyotes, 24-6 final score there. And, Jack, we go over to the rivalry. We'll make you happy for just a little bit talking about the Cardinals. 19-7, Coach Seltzer's team gets a win against a good Paw team. That's still a nice momentum booster on the road. They're going to have a nice home stretch upcoming, and they're going to have Fruitport, a team they've been very successful with in years past.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely a favorable matchup for the Cardinals. But I still got a question. It's the passing game, 3 for 11 from Cole Heiss. Still had 2 good touchdowns to Owen Craven, though. That's a positive for this Cardinal team. On a little bit of a broken coverage from Paw, but Paw is a really tough team to play against. I think the Cardinals played them well. Could have been a little bit of a bigger game, but, I think the Cardinals are very happy with how they played.
Absolutely. Kent City with really the biggest win, arguably, around the area in Week 1, taking down Newaygo in dominant fashion. It was 42-6, and it ended up being 42-22, a couple late touchdowns for Newaygo. But Kent City looks like a really good football team. Their defense looks good. Their offense looks to have improved already from last year, and that's a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the CSAA White.
Yeah, 100%. Right now, if you had to, taking a bet on who's going to win that, it's definitely Kent City right now. The way they're playing, Logan Thompson, 3 touchdowns, 140 yards. That is a heck of a game from him.
Absolutely. Looking at some other games as well. Kelloggsville taking down Grant 43-14. Coach Lowry's crew wanting to get on the foot a little bit earlier in the season, but they got some winnable games upcoming, especially next week. We'll talk about that later in the Week 2 preview. But overall, Kelloggsville gets a win. Also, Lakeview taking out a really good football team, a Mason County Central playoff team last 2 years. And for Lakeview, new coach, a lot of new personnel changes, new quarterback, a lot of things for them to work through here in the season.
Yeah, most definitely a big highlight game for them in Week 1, playing a playoff team. Maybe trying to, pull some Cinderella, see if the slipper fits. Didn't fit, though. But still, this Lakeview Wildcat team, they got a stretch coming up that I think they can maybe be able to win some games.
Yeah, we'll see if that defense can take a step up. How about Central Montcalm and Jamison Johns? He had himself a ball game. The outsides look to be as dangerous as they were last year. See if they can get the football each and every game. They'll have a chance to win.
Yeah, 100%. Almost 300 yards of total offense. Great game from him. Almost 170 passing yards. That's a team that might be a force to be reckoned with coming up.
Absolutely. Chip Hills against Manistee. And Kason, you obviously met the Mariners last year. 42-15 was the final score there. Manistee gets the job done. Chip Hills, a lot of talent, especially their under center. We'll see if that defense can really make some stops here at the end of the season.
Yeah, most definitely. Chip Hills, elite quarterback there, I would say. I mean, he's got potential, like we were talking about a little bit before, to be first-team all-conference. But this is a game that Chip Hills easily, had that first quarter lead, only by a point, but it's a lead. And that's definitely a step in the right direction for the Warriors.
Absolutely. Tri-County with arguably the biggest win around the region in Week 1, be taking down Ovid LC, a really good team. In case, and I'll go over to you for this. You guys played them last year in Week 8. They were a good team, but some of those athletes that we saw in Week 1 this year weren't there for last year. You guys are excited for that test, especially if they stay healthy coming up this year.
Yeah, I really hope they stay healthy because we want a good matchup, and they're a great matchup. They're a good test of what we can do, and really excited.
Absolutely. But you know what Coach Schenkel says, right?
1 week at a time.
I know. You wanted to say that so bad. I appreciate you giving us some stuff here. Harbor Springs takes down Moe's Stanwood, a historic win for the Rams. First win, I believe, 3 years for the program. Fortunately for the Mohawks, they're on the other end of it. But Coach Chapman, new first-year head coach, a lot of changes, it sounds like, in personnel from what we've heard intel-wise. Still a lot of winnable games left here for this Mohawk team.
Yeah, 100%. And this was even the game they played 16-12 going into half, and then for them to not score the rest of the game, that's definitely a tough loss. But like you said, they got a bright future coming up, I would say.
Absolutely. Last game, White Cloud just on the unfortunate end of what was just an absolute dominant performance from the Tigers of Shelby. Coach Trice's team, very young, a lot of new guys coming in from last year, especially at quarterback Jaden Robinson out as he was a senior this last year. White Cloud has some chances to really, get themselves under their feet again, but that's a tough way to start the season against Shelby.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely not the thing you want to see when you're going to that website and it's a 57-0 loss. But hey, this is a team that may have a couple games ahead of them.
It should be very interesting indeed. And with that, we're going to transition here a little bit. Kason's here, and obviously you guys have been working a lot this season. Obviously, we'll get to Belding here in week 2 up in just a minute. But talk about where you've really been working on your game, as you were a guy last year, and we'll even actually go back here. Talk to me. Week 1, you were out wide. You weren't in the tailback field against Kingsley last year, and now you've transitioned to running back, and it seems like you like it there a little bit more than wide receiver. Is that fair?
That's very fair. I love running back. I love to get the outside, hit kids. I'm more of a running back for sure.
Absolutely. And especially for you, a freshman starting in a tailback, a well-known tailback factory here at Reed City. Just talking about that experience, how you were able to handle it, not only physically, but mentally in your first year of high school football, and you're in the tailback field for this team in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Mentally, it's the coaches, man. They were so patient with me, and they helped out my teammates. They were a great group of guys. Fortunately, we had some seniors graduate, but a lot of leaders on this team. And then physically, ice baths,
A lot of ice baths.
A lot of weightlifting and stuff like that, too.
These guys pretty much put Wesco out of business here, if you know downtown Reed City. But for you guys, especially after last year, Boyne City loss, I know was a killer, but you guys still had a fantastic season. Just talk about what you reminisce with that last team last year, and not only that, what this team can do this year in comparison.
Oh, yeah, we made it up to Boyne City, and we were feeling really good about the game. But I think we underlooked them a bit, and they came out smash mouth second half, and they were just running all over us. But this year, I think we still have a good chance. I mean, we have a good group of leaders, great group of guys, backfield, same guys, staying strong. O-line's looking good, D-line's looking good. I mean, we stay low on the ball and get off the ball low. I mean, I think good things are going to come.
Absolutely. We'll talk about Belding in just a minute. Stay with us, folks. I know you're waiting for it. But just tell me about, especially, you've had some experiences this last year on a football field, not necessarily just from last year, but this summer even, going to some exposure camps, working on your skills almost, it seems like 24/7. Just talk me through that, what you're looking to improve, and how much football really seems to you, because you love to be out there on the gridiron.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely love football, and I'm always working on it. Always working on my craft. I'm always in the weight room, trying to eat healthy, Footwork stuff. I always do footwork stuff, ladder drill, cutting, stuff like that. On the football field, I'm always working on different stuff I can do, like reading my blocks, stuff like that. So,
Absolutely. And you took some exciting trips to some exciting places. Was there a favorite that you went this last year as far as an experience goes? I know there's a lot to choose from.
Definitely my visit to U of M.
Okay. So you got to play in the big house, or at least compete in the big house.
Oh, that was a visit.
All right.
You talking about camps?
I mean, either or. You tell me.
Definitely Central Michigan.
Okay.
Central Michigan was a great camp. I definitely recommend it. Great group of guys. Good coaching staff.
Absolutely. And to go on the other side of the counter, favorite place that you've been to? Is the big house there, or is it somewhere else? All right, that's
Definitely
fair.
The big house.
That's fair indeed. All right, let's get you into your good stuff. Week 2 previews, and we'll start obviously at the game. Not going to be right here. It'll be here next year, but we're going to be going to Belding here this year. And Kason, just talk me through a little bit. You guys, obviously last week, the outcome. What's been the key in practice this week, not only from rebounding from last week, but what you see in Belding on film and what you're going to try to do?
They're definitely a good team. They run the same offense of us. We definitely want to practice way harder than they are, right? We want to get off the ball fast. We want to play smash mouth football all game and all week. That's what the game plan is. Outwork them in practice.
Absolutely. And Jack, we'll highlight on that game a little bit. This is an emotional game, right? This is obviously the first time that Coach Schenkel and Coach Price have met as head coaches against one another. And this just really feels like a small town game where it's going to be a sellout on both sides. And we're going to have a packed building. I mean, just talk to me about how you feel as an outsider seeing this whole game. And you're not even emotionally as invested in it as all the people in this town right here.
Yeah, most definitely. They say stuff just means more. This is one of those games that definitely means more than most of the games on the schedule except for Big Rapids and Reed City. But this is a huge game. Huge, like you said, small town game. You know, you talk about Division 1, they're reeling in a ton of guys there. Division 2, this is a game that's lower division. This is one of those big games of the week.
Absolutely. Both teams D6 as well, so these could be potential, you never know with the drawings and the brackets, could be potential playoff teams, but this will be a very fun game. Belden got on the right foot this last week against Ionia, and obviously Reed City waiting to see what they can do down at Rudness Field next week. We'll talk about Big Rapids as well, playing against Fruitport, fresh off that win against the Red Wolves. I mean, really for them, going back home for a 4-game slate now, Coach Seltzer's got to be very happy getting out of Paw Paw with a win, considerably, some of the errors, but overall, Fruitport, a lot of confidence, especially going into what could be a tough conference slate of 5 games.
Yeah, most definitely. This is a huge, I mean, it's not one of those games where it's like it's going to be, going at it. This is a game that could be a trap game. You talk about it at all levels of football. There's trap games all over. This is a team that Big Rapids just has to come out and play Big Rapids football. They don't have to play Fruitport football. They got to play their brand of football to come out with the win here.
Absolutely. We talk about the tailbacks here in Kianis as well as Kason and then Jack Deitch. I mean, how about Max Bowman and as well as Jack Bowman? Those guys can get some things in the works when it comes to that offense. We'll be seeing how they do against the Trojans this week. How about Grant against Hesperia? Yeah, the teams might not be in the win column, but that might be the most competitive game of the week right here. I mean, we're talking the Tigers and the Panthers teams that are a little bit lower on the totem pole, but, man, they look like they could just go in for what could be just a classic shootout that nobody's expecting. Maybe a little action early in the week.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, these teams haven't played in 21 years. This is teams that are very unfamiliar with each other. Like you said, who knows? We may have a random 55-50 game here in week 2.
You never know. This could just shape up to be a wild football game. Sanford Meridian against Tri-County. You guys faced Sanford Meridian in the scrimmage not too long ago. What'd you overall see from the Mustangs when you guys played them?
They look good. They were really friendly. Good sportsmanship. Their coaches were nice. That was cool. But yeah, their offense looked good. Their defense looked good. They put up some good competition. So
yeah, it should be very interesting. And Jack, you mentioned, especially to me, I mean, you look at a guy like Chase Keller in the backfield. You got Vaughn Veltman there, really being the commander of the offense. If they can get stops defensively, their offense can put up points and they can beat this Mustangs team.
Yeah, 100%. Even just to bounce back a little bit to last week, Chase Keller, an amazing game, highlighting a couple guys. He's played really good. Nice punt return, a good kick return, 2 touchdowns rushing. That's a team that we talked about a little bit before. If all 3 of them stay healthy, that is an elite group of guys that this conference might be in trouble.
Absolutely. The Warriors and the Mohawks. Man, this should be a bigger hyped game, should it not? The Chip Hills and Molly Stanwood. Molly Stanwood looking to get back on the right foot. Obviously, Chip Hills, a team that can really definitely show they have the talent, and it's especially that defensive side of the ball that we'll be watching. But I think especially Chip Hills, if they can throw the football and they can get stops, they can really make some noise in this conference this year.
Yeah, 100% athlete at quarterback. This is a Chip Hills team that we were talking about a little bit before. They can play pretty good football. They just got to put it all together. We talked about the defense a little bit earlier. If they put it all together, this is a pretty solid team that may finish 4th but could still make some noise.
Yeah, absolutely. Central Montcalm and Newaygo, arguably another game of the week there, and I believe it's going to be in Newaygo. But overall, I think this could be a very interesting game. Newaygo obviously lost a lot last year, and I think now people really saw it. Obviously, there's a lot of optimism there. Still is for this season, but they really, Coach Munger leaving, now there's a new group, new coaching staff really in front of them. But, man, they still got some athletes. We'll see if those guys can really bounce back. In Central Montcalm, those outsides like Jamison Johns and those guys can get out in space. Newaygo's going to really have to play well defensively in the secondary especially.
Yeah, 100%. Out of all the matchups we're highlighting this week, I think this is the most intriguing one. A team like Central Montcalm at a high and a team like Newaygo who had pretty good momentum going into the season, see that taper off with their loss to Kent City. These are 2 teams that are polar opposites in the morale right now.
Absolutely. Lakeview and Saugatuck will do battle as well in non-conference action. We'll see if the Wildcats can bounce back a little bit. And then Harbor Springs, hello. Just going from Molly Stanwood to another team of CSAA. How about they go to White Cloud? We'll see if Coach Trice's team can spoil that celebratory week 1 win from last week.
Yeah, most definitely. Maybe a little bit of a game here that White Cloud can come out and play some pretty good football. This is a team that White Cloud's I think they got to win this game if you're a White Cloud. I mean, this is a winnable game.
Yeah, it feels like a must-win early in the season. We'll see if Coach Trice can get the job done with his crew. And then finally, Godwin Heights hosting Kent City. For the Eagles, last week went about as good as you can ask for. Now you're going to get a little bit of a chippy team in Godwin Heights. Not necessarily disrespecting them, but they're a team that plays very physically. Can the Eagles get back to fundamentals, take care of the football, and get it done on the road?
Yeah, most definitely. A momentum. We talked about it, all-time high for this Kent City team. You got to back it up now against a team like Godwin Heights.
It's going to be fun indeed. That's really the rundown for football. And Kason, I'm going to give you a chance to speak here before we let you go. This is a big game. It really feels like a big game to this town. I know you've been talking especially to buddies in classes, and you obviously, small town word gets around here. There's no doubt about it. How do you guys feel, especially knowing on the practice field for what's ahead on Friday night?
We're knowing they're going to be a good team. Monty definitely knows what's coming. But, again, outwork them. Work as a team. Let the leaders lead.
Absolutely. And I'll give you 30 seconds to convince these people to travel with you down to Belding this Friday night and watch you guys in the stands.
It's going to be a good game. Come out, support. Belding or Reed City, most likely Reed City, though. It's going to be a smash mouth football game. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. Come out.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun game indeed. And we'll touch on soccer here just for all of our soccer fans tuning in. Jack obviously highlighting a lot of the previews and stuff on YouTube, which you guys can find online today. So far in conference action, there's been minimal games. Grant right now looks like a team at the top that could really compete. For Big Rapids, unfortunate coaching change early in the season, right? And so now they're kind of adapting to a new style. They're looking at some new personnel. So hopefully they can get their feet underneath them, especially right now where we're pretty much deep into the conference slate.
Yeah, most definitely. Very interesting season there. Coach Thomas, he's looking forward to basketball season, shifted into the soccer role a little bit. I don't think there's a person that's more excited for the basketball season to come along than Coach Thomas. They got a soccer group there that they can make some trouble in the conference.
Absolutely. Some other teams as well. Obviously, you mentioned Tri-County is a team that was very competitive last year in the middle of the table. Nuego's a very good team overall. They've had 2 draws so far. We'll see if they can get into the win column. And then you obviously have a team like Kent City that offensively can be as talented as anybody, and they can still beat you defensively. So I know that group is going to be very excited for that battle against the Tigers.
Yeah, most definitely. They were pretty good team last year. Came out, Big Rapids gave them some trouble in the conference championship. But that's a team that Kent City's got some weapons out there. We talked about it on our preview episode. They're returning most of those guys. I think we had 10 of 11, I believe. And that's a team that they could play some pretty good soccer.
Absolutely. And then you got guys like Lakeview and Reed City, who is actually playing right now, folks, against Glen Lake. We're trying to check in on the score, but there's a tree in our way. But they're looking to get on the right foot moving forward and see if they can keep competitive in this conference. And especially it comes in a lot of these non-conference games, Jack, where we looked at those 2 team schedules, playing a lot of tough teams. That's where you build your program moving forward, knowing what you have to go up against going into the summertime.
Yeah, most definitely. That goes across for any sport. You get these tune-up games, you're looking forward to a conference slate. That's really what you want to win. You want to win conference, but sometimes these non-conference opponents, they could pick your game apart, and that only makes you better as a team in the conference.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for us here in our Week 2 episode of The Rundown. Big thanks to this man right here, Kason. Thank you so much for joining us, my man.
Thank you guys for
we
having
appreciate you having on. But thanks to all of those, as now the soccer game is in the books, so we're going to go over and check that out. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow us, and we'll see you next time right here on The Rundown.